roll.
How was that?
Barry, just overall, what'd you think of Luke's performance bouncing back?
Yeah, I was impressed with the way he bounced back. Thought he played a nice game. Obviously, a few things we'd like to have back. Most of it was probably the delivery of the ball, but being cautious and being smart with the ball, and do some check downs. And thought he was poised in the pocket. Thought he had a nice bounce back game.
What changed for you guys in the second half to have more ground success?
Yeah, we kind of found our stride maybe late in the third and fourth quarters. I don't know. I mean, I think the backs ran hard. We made some halftime adjustments. A few small things I think that helped us. Had good communication from the staff. I thought that. I think that probably helped a little bit show up. But we strained better and our backs ran harder and the perimeter did a good job blocking and that was really encouraging to see. We ended the game in kind of 4-minute mode. And we were able to end the game with the ball in our hand, and that's always the goal when you get in those situations. So that's something certainly that we want to build upon.
Seems like the game changed offensively when you spread them out a little bit and sped them up and went up tempo. Was that an in-game adjustment or was that the game plan?
Yeah, both. We had planned on being tempo at certain times during the game. We always have a certain element of like up tempo, fast, and try to get depending on the game, 8 to 12 snaps of those to where it's kind of the one word calls where you're playing with a little bit better pace and as we've learned our team and learned our offense, they've really responded to like 2-minute situations and really fast tempo and playing simple fast football. And so after we had struggled a couple 3 series, I think we were 3 series into it, and we jumped into tempo of series 4 and had a really nice scoring drive. And so that continues to show up and continues to be something that I think our offense handles pretty well.
Brett said you went to team on Monday and said I want to be on the field. What led you to want to make that change, and how do you feel like it worked out?
Yeah, I mean, there's none of these. There's no magic pill for each week. Each is different. I think I said to you guys early in the season about my decision to go up. We felt like that was right for our team, and I did, and I did feel like that was right for our team at that point in time. And really, what it came down to is just that. We have not played the way that we need to play, and I felt disconnected from the team to some degree, and I just wanted to get back down there with them and go to battle with them. And so was it good for us? I mean, it didn't. I don't think it hurt us, and I certainly didn't think it hurt us. I liked interacting with the players and the coaches. We had good communication and feedback with the coaches, and Luke be able to communicate with him. I think that was a real positive thing. I'm very comfortable down there. I didn't notice anything different. I'm comfortable in both settings, but it's probably something I'll continue to stay down on the field for.
How have you addressed the offensive line? How have you assessed them? And what things can you guys do to help them, especially in pass pro?
Yeah, sure. Well, I mean, I think that as we've kind of started to level off our movement of where guys are playing, settling in that lineup. I think week 2 of the continuity. I think it really started to show up late in the third and fourth quarter. I think we settled down and we did some good things. We did. And obviously, one of the things that's happening is we're getting in too many obvious passing situations, and that's a tough situation to be in as an offense when everybody in the stadium knows that you're probably about to pass the ball. That's hard to do. We got to mitigate that. We got to be better on first down and second down, and as we hopefully, if we run the ball better and can run the ball better and make better decisions with the football early on and make better play calls, we can have less third and longs, and so that's the first thing that can help us is stay out of some of those obvious passing situations, and then there's different protection schemes that we can do within that to help our guys with 7-man, 6-man chips, bumps, and we've used all that during the course of time, but that's certainly something that's got to be at a premium for us. We got to protect the passer, and I think we're getting better in that phase. Obviously there's sacks that are showing up that aren't acceptable, and it's all encompassing. It's not just one position, one person, not one person group. It's our offense. And that's the stance that we're taking on that to get those corrected. Is it's an offensive issue that's got to get fixed.
Coach, what impact does your familiarity with Ryan and Kevin have in game planning for Purdue?
Yeah, it's an interesting situation, but it's not unique in football, and this stuff kind of happens. I've been a part of it one other time, and we just got to worry about us. That's the big thing. Is we got to worry about putting our best foot forward, going on the road, playing the defending Big Ten West champions, in a trophy game, we got to focus on putting our best foot forward, and that will be our focus, no matter how familiar or unfamiliar we are with who's on the opponent's sideline. Listen, our players deal with this all the time. They got players that they went to high school with, that they played junior college with, that they transferred teams with, and that happened last week, for some of our players, that they knew some of those guys from FAU. So, that's just something after the game, you shake a hand and say hello. Obviously much respect for those guys and how they go about their business. Certainly familiar with the structure and the defense, and there's familiarity on both sides that certainly will have a factor into the game, to some degree. But when it comes to planning, I think it's just like, okay, here's the structure of the defense, here's what they like to play, here's their identity, and now let's go see if we can attack it. Obviously having a lot of time and practices to knowing exactly what that looks like, it's helpful to jumpstart the week. But obviously both sides are going to have some things that we hadn't shown each other.
You're happy for Coach Walters, obviously you got this opportunity, but Coach Billum has kind of said a couple times, kind of wish it somewhere else would have been better. You sort of felt like that's kind of you're going against your brother type thing.
Sure. Yeah, I think I would feel very similar to the way Coach would feel about it, and I got a lot of respect for him and a lot of those guys that are a part of that staff. And all that aside, like what's at stake for us is really important. The conference game, a road game, opportunity number 5, and I thought we made some strides last week. I thought there was some marked improvement last week in some areas. And man, we've got to really make another week of improvement for us to go win this game.
Barry, you've been around a lot of talented wide receivers. What does Isaiah Williams give to this offense, and just what have you seen from his development at that position the last 2 years?
Yeah, he just keeps getting better and better and more. He works at his craft. He's all in. I think George has done a great job with his development, but Isaiah is also hungry and always trying to learn, working extra, watching film, and he's a really special player that really good things happen when he gets involved in our offense. And obviously we were really intentional about that the other day, and that it reaped its benefits for us. And then obviously he made the play of the game. I think on the 50-50 ball deep there to turn the field around, we go score and changes the game. And it was an incredible play by him. So I just can't say enough good things about him. We just got to continue to find ways to inject him into the offense, getting the ball, because good things happen when he touches it.
What's it do for your offense when the tight ends are having the kind of day they had, both catching the ball and blocking?
Yeah, we got to have them ball. I think that was one thing that I left the other day. The field, and my wife even said this. She just said, it was fun seeing a bunch of different people touch the ball. Like just guys that, like Griffin and Tip, and then Canary, and our receivers and different backs and Aiden. We use a lot of different people, and I think that's always a positive thing. So all of our position groups are really important that they touch the ball. We create even distribution. Doesn't mean equal distribution, but distribution amongst those position groups. But I thought the tight ends did a nice job for us on Saturday, made some nice plays, 2 big plays for us in the passing game, and then did a nice job in the run game as well.
When Josh McCray is going like that, what does that add to your running back room? And then just beyond him, what do you see the Caden and
Yeah, it was good to get him going. I think that was the first time really all year that he's felt probably like he feels like he is. Like he ran well, he ran through tackles, did a nice job. Reggie ran hard. I thought all 4 of the backs impacted the game in a positive light, and that's a great thing. Thad's been saying that and believing that for some time, that we've got, now that we're going into week 5, that we got 4 backs that we trust, and I feel very strongly that that's true with any scheme, any run scheme, any protection scheme. We trust all those guys. So I think as we continue to go forward, there, that 4-headed monster is something that will continue to stay intact with us, I think.
Well, for those guys, what's the key to balancing route time in that rotation? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think some of it's specialized packaging, right, to where we know for certain guys are going to touch the ball, and then it's filling the game. I know there's several series in the game, like Reggie will start the series, and Caden is basically the backup in the series in case something to happen or one of those need a rest and it goes on a long drive, and then there's certain series that Josh will start and Aiden's the backup, and if we have a sustained drive, then you can see. So I think it's a combination of like pre-scripted, premeditated, then it's the rotation based on how a guy's health status is, how the length of the drive is, and at the end of the day, you want to be able to look at the stat sheet at the game being over and all 4 of those guys touching the ball and having a chance to impact us.
Notably, you were able to get big plays. For some of those, obviously, were scripted, but to able to execute those big plays, what's that mean for your offense?
Yeah, listen, obviously the name of the game for offense is scoring, and that's the one thing that we didn't do the other day that, you know, that performance could have been or should have been a 31 to 35 point performance. And then listen, our job is to score one more point in the other team. I'm thrilled that we did that and that we scored enough points to help us win the football game as a team, right? Our defense did a phenomenal job bailing us out in a couple tough situations. But, you know, you score, explosive plays are part of scoring drives, most of them. I mean, we want to be methodical, and we also want to control the ball and have a sustained drive. But it's really, really important to unlock scoring potential to have explosive plays, and we did that the other day. We did a nice job of that. And I think we have explosive play potential. When we execute well, we got enough players that can create plays. I think we got a quarterback that can create those types of plays, and we're going to need those on Saturday. We're going to need chunk yardage plays. They're not easy to come by in this defense or in this league. They're not, but it's important that you have them to help bolster your drives so you don't have to have a 14-play drive to go score. You can do it in a 7-play, a 6-play set, and that's the name of the game in football in general. Now, again, that's not what we're always chasing because explosive plays happen through execution. That's what they usually happen through, and opportunity, if the opportunity's called.
Is there anything specific you can point to where it was a 23-point game instead of a 30, 35-point game? Just missed opportunities?
Well, yeah, missed opportunities, right? The first drive of the game, we get down there, you know, and go forward and probably would like to have that call back just a little bit short, you know, on in the run scheme. So there's one that has a, you know, potential 3 to 7 point swing. You know, we throw a touchdown pass and it gets called back. Thought a great throw and catch by Luke and Pat gets called back. So there's 3 or 4 points, you know. You know, we turned the ball over twice to lose opportunities. Just so just a myriad of different things. You know, I thought our red zone execution was, you know, fairly good, except for the you know, the penalty they got. Anytime you get points taken off the board, that's a difficult, it's a tough situation. I thought Caleb did a great job of getting us to 3. You know, so it's a kind of a combination of all those things. But the bottom line is we got to continue to emphasize and stress our job is to score enough points to win the game. But when we have explosive plays like we have and we have the yardage that we have during the game, we need more point production in that, and we got to execute better.
What do you guys do about some of these turnovers that just maybe keep popping up?
Yeah, sure. I mean, we'll harp on it, coach it, correct it. I think everybody in the organization understands how important the ball is. You know, we want to take care of the ball and create turnovers as an organization. And right now we're turning the ball over too much. And you know, we kind of went through this phase a little bit last year, early in the year. There was a game, I think Virginia, maybe we had 3 or 4 turnovers during that game. And you know, our guys just did a better job of taking care of the ball. I got to do a better job putting them in positions to make sure the ball's not in jeopardy. But anybody that touches the ball has to understand how important that is. Our guys understand that. I think it hurts them when we turn the ball over. I know it does. Disappoints them. And so beyond the emphasis of guys, we got to take care of the ball and the drills that we do individually, I think part of it is related to the scheme that's called to make sure we're protecting our players.
Coach, disguising coverages and pre-snap movement, it's always been a big part of Ryan Walters' scheme. Is this particularly tricky for Luke to recognize the coverages?
Yeah, it's a great challenge. That's what, you know, I remember, I think, you know, obviously having some insight into the conversations of being here is just, I think, you know, they did a great job designing the defense that they all sat down as a staff here with Coach B, you know, designing the defense to disguise coverages for the quarterback and creates a unique set of challenges. But just like any other defense, there's methods to it, there's rhymes and reasons. And, you know, that's the thing that the quarterback's got to do is just make sure they're focusing on what they need to focus on to get the tells that they need to get told, you know, to be able to understand and dissect what the coverages are. But certainly a challenge in that regard.
You mentioned the tight ends and how rational. Is there something unique about Henry Boyer at 6'6", maybe 270, that you can use him a lot? I mean, it seems like his production continues to go up and up.
Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously, being on the field helps you be productive,
Sure.
you know, and so he was on the field a little bit more the other day than he was in the previous games because the flow of the game was a little bit more like kind of what we want to play, you know, 11, 12 personnel, even some 13 personnel, you know, so he had opportunities to impact the game a little bit more because he was on the field more, caught a couple balls for us. And, you know, Henry is he's like I wouldn't say he's non-traditional as a tight end. I mean, I think he fits the bill as the body type, the bend, the flexibility, the ball skills. He's just a really big human that has good motor skills and has good hands, and that's a good thing for us, you know. So get in there in the C gap and keep getting away, being physical, and then quick balls and quick balls in the flat, you know, horizontal stuff, short passes, that's gonna be his forte, and he did a nice job of that for us the other day.
All good? Thank you, guys.
Okay, good.